Hey guys, I've got a few minutes on my lunch break here, and I wanted to do a video response to Looking for My Marbles. He posted a video this morning that really got the gears rolling, and it's a topic I think is incredibly important, especially for those of us that have chosen to utilize a firearm in a defensive situation. This is my home defense weapon, my M&P 9, and this is the gun that sleeps next to me at nights. And I think that we have to consider the question of when do you shoot? When are you justified in taking that shot? And I think that there's lots and lots of different people that are experts on this that have covered it. Massad Ayoob is one person that comes to mind that has literally written the book on defensive shooting and the do's and don'ts and the things that you need to do before you even pick up the firearm to concealed carry. Concealed carry, open carry, home defense, it doesn't matter. If you've chosen to utilize a firearm in defense of yourself, your property, or your family, it's important to take a step back and look at not only look at what you need to do beforehand, but also what is going to happen after a shooting. And I don't think a lot of people take the time to really seriously sit down and consider all the consequences. If you pull a weapon on somebody and pull the trigger and end somebody's life in a defensive situation, your life, not only their life, has ended, but your life is going to change dramatically. Some of the consequences are obviously legal consequences. You might be charged with a serious crime. Your personal life might change. Your business life could change. And I think one of the biggest consequences of taking a person's life is the fact that you have to live with the idea that you have taken a person's life, whether justified or unjustified. And I think that is something that's heavier than most people give it credit for. If you pull that trigger, your life will end as you know it. And that's something that I hope I never, ever have to experience. It's something I never have had to experience. I've never had to draw my weapon in a defensive situation or home defense or anything like that, and I hope I never do. But I do know that I have made the decision that if the situation ever arises that I have to defend myself, my property, or my family, I will not hesitate to defend myself. And that's one thing that I have taken the time and weighed the consequences, weighed all aspects of that idea, and made the decision to carry a firearm. And I had a buddy of mine that I had this conversation with a while back, but he was talking about he was looking in the market for bean bags, so less than lethal rounds out of his shotgun, his 12-gauge shotgun, for home defense. And he's saying that I don't want to take somebody's life if they just want my TV out of my front room. And I agree. I don't think that a material possession is worth anybody else's a human being's life. But I countered him and said, well, how do you know that that's the only thing they want? How do you know that they're not willing to hurt you or your family to get to those material things? And he conceded that idea, and his I think he had a valid point, and I think I had a valid point, and there's a nice medium there somewhere. But yeah, I think that in a very split-second situation, and I think that's what it's going to be when and if there's ever a situation where you have to defend yourself, it's going to be so split-second. You're going to have very little time to react to a situation, and that goes back to what you need to do before you ever decide to carry a firearm or to utilize a firearm in your defense, and that is you need to train. You need to put yourself in familiarity with that firearm, with the procedures and the laws that pertain to defense. And you need to know those. You need to own those things. You need to own your training. You need to own the law. You need to own all those things before that is even utilized. Because I think that when it comes right down to it, if you don't, you are setting yourself up for not only irresponsibility, but for failure. And I think that's important. One thing that I get out of my hunting, which I do quite a bit of, is that it puts you in a situation where you have high adrenaline, and you have to determine and make a lot of decisions in a very, very fast setting. And for instance, coyote hunting. Coyotes are very, very difficult to hunt. If you've ever coyote hunted, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They're very quick. They're very they're very, very difficult to take down. And when the first moment you see a coyote, you have to go through and you have to calm yourself down, put the coyote in target, make sure that you know what you're doing, and be able to squeeze that trigger off and make the shot in very, very, very little time. And if you can't do that, you miss. And there's a term called buck fever or buck wild. If you don't know what that means, it means that when you see that buck that you're going to actually take the shot on, that deer, and you just get so worked up that you aren't able to make that shot, that's buck fever. That's buck wild. And the same thing applies to a real life situation. If you just pull your gun out because your adrenaline's high and you start firing, that is the absolute wrong thing to do. When you see that, when you're hunting and you see that deer, you have to create calm. You have to methodically go through and manipulate your weapon. You have to squeeze that trigger. You still have to do those things necessary in order for you to complete that process, to complete that shot. And if you're not able, and that's one thing that I get out of hunting, is the ability to be in a real life situation where I have to pull the trigger and I have to do it calmly in a process in order for it to happen. And anyway, that analogy doesn't go completely back and forth, but I think you guys get the idea. Anyway, so I just wanted to add a couple of these thoughts, to Looking for Me Marbles video, and I think that it's really important. I think that people don't take the opportunity to stop themselves, think about the consequences of carrying a firearm and utilizing that firearm. And I think that it's something that if you haven't done, you need to do. And if you are planning to utilize a firearm someday in a defensive situation or carry for that eventuality or whatever, to stop before and to think about those things, to learn your laws, to train on your weapon, and to give yourself as many tools as you can for that future event if that occurs. So anyway, guys, hopefully you found this interesting. If you have any questions or thoughts, comments, video responses, feel free to add them, and I appreciate you guys watching, and we will talk to you guys later. See ya.